Attention gamers. Something most League of Legends players don't know is that Zoe is currently the best designed champ for the support role in the game. Not only does this 6,000-year-old sleeping pill distributor have more terrain in the bot lane to make her enemies sleepy and then slain, she also has no limit to the amount of summoner spells she can use in a fight, so the more people in the lane the better. Normally when people come into gank an overextended bot lane, they don't expect to be told that all of a sudden it's nap time, and by the time they are fully awake again they are on fire and dying before their own teammates know what hit them. But of all the perks Zoe brings as a support, she's always had one weakness. And that's the fact that anytime a hooded midget employee used to bring a balloon to lane, she'd have to be the one to last hit it to get it, resulting in angry ADCs and missed opportunities. But that all changed when Riot said, nah, let the tranquilizing toddler terrorize the lane with these extra spells regardless of if she touches the little midget that brings them to the party, and thus a monster that most people think is meant for the mid lane was born. So today I'm going to show just how abusive this baby Barbie can be as support, and then demonstrate how much more insane it can be with the right ADC picks. So if you are feeling generous, please politely take a shit on my subscribe button and let's get into the games. So game 1 starts out, I'm laning with that stage riding Taylor Rift Swift, and this Ashe immediately starts underestimating the effect of my ambient enema, so she takes a break of that Kit Kat bar while I remove a considerable amount of her health before getting cold feet about the whole murder thing and pussing out at the last second. But here's the thing, every time I try to do my jump roping around that flame retardant cactus, she births a few spitting tulips, and I don't take kindly to such bullshit, so I make her sit still and then launch a long bomb up her vegan ass for the kill. And once I broke the murder seal, I no longer felt bad about impersonating a broken hemorrhoid and making a bloody ash hole, so I made a deal with her that I would sit on the black and white bench with her as long as her tower got the credit for putting me there. Then I'm fin to get some vision and suckle on the teat of a river raspberry, stock up on vitamin C so I don't catch stupidity from my lane mate when I get force fed a 600-pound arrow, and then the next thing you know all kind of chicks are flashing me, and not in the way that I'd like, all while I'm thinking, where in God's fuck is my ADC, only for her to arrive to the scene oh so heroically and educate us on the risks of inbreeding. But here's the thing, that whole fiasco gave us some alone time with Legolas's wife, and typically ADCs may feel safe under tower with 70% of their health, but a few roofies up the shank shaft later and you wake up in fountain wondering why your poo tunnel is sore. Then we are just chillin' like two overextended villains when someone who wears their virginity on their sleeve by playing Teemo comes in thinking a few spits and he'll be Twitter famous for killing Belle Delphine, but it quickly turned into a nightmare for him, no pun intended. And yeah, Teemo players might never know what it feels like to be inside a vagina, but this one now knew what it was like to be stuck inside his own base. But then it was my jungler's turn to pay us a visit, and he likes the lights to be turned off for his entrances, which is then followed by a quick game of Fuck the Fern, who oh so generously drops an exhaust for yours truly. So I use my ult to make Ashe tired, and then I encourage the Smoky Pokey Crab Claw to tune back into the regularly scheduled broadcast because I have lethal amounts of Valium and I'm just dying to not use my Q correctly to kill her off with it. At this point I have about 2/3 of my first item completed, which means one little snooze later and Ashe will be missing the better part of her youth, all while Seraphine was managing to go 0 for Sunday on her ults. And yeah, I can count the number of times I've played this champ on one clubbed foot, but the pick just felt so strong that I was fin to limit test by flash delivering a lil Xanax, hitting 2 hops this time to drop tower aggro, then declining the invite to eat another arrow before disrespecting her by letting my piss awful Seraphine finish her off. This lined up an easy breezy beautiful cover girl of an uncontested Drake, and you may be thinking that's not uncontested, I can see Lava Lamp Zyra right there, but 1, she was about as useful as a chocolate teapot, and 2, she was dead as shit, which 3 was all this enemy team had to see to melt their mental and give up literally right at the 15-minute mark, which concluded my first game as Zoe support. But I also want to show what happens when you take a more roaming support approach on the little Ritalin distributing Rugrat. Alright, game 2 supporting for this Jen, who was a real treat, and by real treat I mean a board certified dickhead, but here's the thing, they were Lishy Nami trying to make us level 2 sushi if you know what I mean, so I had to ambient the Obama and then let my 4 horde do the rest. Then I figured I would hit the roam to assert my dominance as the best toddler on the Rift, which got that pig-tailed kleptomaniac out of mid as well. But I wasn't done yet, I wanted to get a viewpoint of that little insubordinate house-burning baby bitch from another angle, so I entered from the top, hit a honeycomb and drained her investment account of summoner spells in the process. I know this is going to attract their jizz-covered jungler to try and save the day, but I decided I'm gonna need him to lower the energy levels and sit still while I shove this bursty boy down his pie hole to put him behind as well. So at this point I'm 3-0, having impacted 3 roles by the 5-minute mark, and my Jhin is healthy down there until he decides for whatever reason to position worse than a hot dog at a Jewish funeral, which ends up getting him killed, and guess whose fault that was? Bruh. But I don't like to burn bridges, so I make sure to give this whining shithole some extra special attention by drugging his main competition in life, whipping a Q at Timbuktu, and then pestering the pistol president until he pisses off, playing it off like I intended to have the accuracy of a burnt piece of toast so that my ADC doesn't have to cry his way through his counting for the rest of the game. But when I was coming back to work the next day, he managed to find taint tenants to his own personal bungalow again, so all I could do was pull up my list of games to play with mermaids and select the one titled "I Don't Need to See You to Shit in Your Mouth, Nami." But he was rocking that I'm not having fun, so why should anyone else? Type of mentality that everyone wants to be around, while I was reverse LeBroning this bitch by taking my talents to the North Beach to help a stone gargoyle play pin the tail on the 6 arms Godzilla shitter, which took a bit but did end well. But his inner league comes out by posting his death's epilogue as a way to make himself feel less bad about dying, to which my ADC is like, yep, you may be on the enemy team, but we're friends now, and I hope you want a blowjob after the game for flaming the guy I'm flaming too. And so, despite keeping the enemy ADC as similar levels of uselessness, ours was breaking his own records on how fast he could get one shot, and they eventually won, proving that on any champ you need to be careful about leaving your lane for 40 seconds early to get 2 other lanes ahead if it means you are leaving a high maintenance bitch at home. But I thought it would be fun to show how to properly play the ADC role with a Zoe support, and step 1 is to lock in a mage like Lux. You'll be rocking more CC than a spam email with enough burst at level 2 to bust a nut on any support, and then educate their ADC right after on the fact that you are rocking double Dark Harvest. You become quite receptive to ganks because you can get them low enough from downtown Disney for a pike to come in, snatch an ult, and then get bloody pissed on by a blind man who you then tie up and punish for committing such grave sins in the presence of a lady. Once you get ult, you don't even need items. If the Zoe can land a single ambient enema, you will be able to right-click move to the recycling bin with ease. Anytime there's a domestic dispute over who gets to tame this flapping wildebeest, you aren't stuck being a one-item ADC with your flaccid dick in your hand just sprinkling on your right-click button wondering why no one's health is going down. Instead you have all the AoE, the burst, the crowd control, the wasted summoner spells, and the girl power to make sure you two come out of this shit fest on top. Your duo may find herself in a bit of a sticky situation, and that Sonic shitter shooting blueberries out of his fist will be looking to capitalize, but you tell her as long as she can make him sit still you can avenge her one death. At this point we stay more pushed up than a set of tits in a bombshell bra on TikTok, and it doesn't matter how many shots we miss because all it takes is one to land and they will die from almost full health to 0. Once people in the bot lane have faced the wrath, we head top, but one look at us and that metal moron is like, fuck this, I'm going to my own private dimension, but he can only hide from the titty lasers for so long. So you tilt their bot, you ruin their jungler's ganks, and then you pay one visit top, and that's enough to force their team into that forfeit mindset. So give Zoe support a try, one shot my sub button, and brush your teeth tonight. Rav out.